let's get started. Now, I'm gonna make this quick video. A lot of people know I use a lot of sea moss on a daily, and a lot of people ask me, can I have some? Is it easy to make? So I'm gonna try to do a little quick video. I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible. So I just want to explain the things that I'm gonna use. The first thing I'm gonna use, I use purple sea moss. Some people call it Irish sea moss, African sea moss, but it does come from the African coast. It's purple in color, and it's a little bit different. It does have a different taste than the regular, the light colored sea moss. And so this is what I use, and I'll put a link to where I get it from later. But what I want to do is just go through the process of how I make it, and I'm pretty much just copycatting some stuff I seen on videos on YouTube. So I'm gonna try to make mine shorter. And the things I'll be using is simply the sea moss. When I buy it, it comes in bags. I take it immediately out of the bags. I put it in mason jars, and then I cap it, and this is what I store it in. And then when I clean it, I'll use stainless steel dishes. I'll use this here to wash it. I'll use spring water to wash it and drain it and strain it. And then once I get it clean, I'll put it into a glass bowl, and then I'll let it soak. And then once I soak it in spring water with some lime, and then that'll rehydrate, and it'll cause the swelling of the sea moss. And then once it swells overnight, or over 12 hours or 24 hours, and then I'll come back and I'll put it in the blender. And I may do a second part, and then I'll put it into the Ninja, chop it up real good, and then that's when it turns into a gel. It's gonna get real and you'll see. And I'll go ahead and get started while I explain it. And so it doesn't take a lot. I'll just pour a little out of here, and you can see this is kind of what it looks like. It got a pretty weird texture to it, and I'm gonna do quite a bit because I'm gonna mix some, and somebody else asked for some, so I may even do. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll put this over so you get a good view of what it really looked like. Let me get this out of the way. And so this is basically what it looked like. And you can see it got sand, roots, different kind of textures in it. And some people really, I don't know if you ever been to the beach and that stuff wrapped around your leg, it feels kind of weird. It still feels that weird, and some people say they can't get past the texture when they're cleaning it. So this is usually I make about this much. I'm gonna make probably twice as much, and I'm gonna do that because somebody else asked for some. And so I'll go ahead and get started. First thing I do, of course, I wash my hand because I'll be handling it, but I will have spring water in here. First thing I'll do, take some spring water. I just happen to use that in here, and I'm kind of rinsing it. And I'm just, once you wet it, I kind of try to detangle it so I can get some of the stuff out of it. Try to make it stay over here, so you see it kind of got like a base to it, and it kind of trees off from the base. And so I kind of try to get it separated because it got some hard crystallized pieces, almost, I don't know what they call it, but I try to get all that out of there. But like I said, once you wet it, I'm gonna take it out of the strainer for now, and I'm just gonna put it strictly in the water. And I do try to conserve spring water. I don't just run it over tap water because there's a lot of the stuff in the water, and once you start putting water on it, it rehydrates it, whatever type of water you run over it. So if you use the water we don't have the best quality water here, but if you use that water, the sea moss is kind of like a sponge. It immediately start rehydrating itself, and it gets loose and it's absorbing whatever water you run over it. So that's the importance of using spring water instead of tap water, because you don't want the chemicals into the water. Again, why do people eat sea moss? Because your body's made up of 102 minerals. Sea moss have particularly most of those minerals your body needs. Typically, they have about 80 to 90 something minerals into the sea moss alone. So you really get a lot of what your body needs. So you know we're made up mostly water and minerals. So the water part is easy, and getting the minerals is the hard part. And that's why people use sea moss, because it got so many other ones you need. And there's other stuff that you can use, the burdock roots, flax seeds, there's a lot of stuff out there. So right now, I'm just kind of rinsing it off and washing it, and you'll see the water start turning. I don't know if you can see the water in here. It's getting a little brown, this color. And so once I get it to this point where I think it's getting loose, I can start separating it. I'll dump this water out, and I'll put some more. I still try to salvage all the sea moss that I can. So I put that in there. And I'll pour this water out. And I'll do and some say they hate the texture that it has, but I actually like this texture. And I just try to pull out any foreign stuff, send it down there to the disposal. I mean, just to give you an idea, like stuff like this here, I really don't know what that is. It could be something trapped into the sea moss. I'll pull that. And so that's really what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get it loose so I can keep it clean. And because a lot of that hard stuff, it doesn't chop up that easily, and you don't really want it in your sea moss anyway. And so that's the reason why I try to get it all out of there. And so it's basically almost like it's a branch or it's something that got pulled away from the branch of the tree. But that's the part that I try to pull off, the little hard substance. And it's kind of it's kind of webbed in. And so you basically just got to pull it all out of there. And the water helps get it out of there. And so I shake it up. And I do have to order. I think that's my last jar. I ordered 3 packs. I think it come in an ounce pack, 16-ounce packs. So I got about 3 pounds when I done it. I'm actually getting a call. Oh, you never on the phone. Talk to me. Huh? Where's your sea moss? What is my sea moss? I'm making a video right now where I'm making some. You want some raw sea moss or you want me to make you some? Oh man, I don't know what's the difference between raw sea moss and made some. Raw sea moss is seaweed. No, I don't want no glass of seaweed, son. Well, I'm in the process right now. I'm making a video. You in the video? So what? In fact, I'll double up. I'm gonna double up since twin brother looking. He gonna want some. So I'm gonna make all of this. So I'm completely out. It's gonna be a lot of sea moss. It's probably gonna make probably about 2 or 3 of these jars right here. So I'm gonna try to get all of this clean. I need a little bit more water. Man, do your video, bro. Peace out. Later. So as you can see, it's swelling up pretty good already just by, so you see it was only a few pinches. And just by cleaning it, it already started the swelling process. And so it'll probably quadruple in size right here. And this is pretty clean. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the straining process here. I'm going to put this here, in here. I'm going to get rid of all this old, nasty, dirty water. As you can see. I guess I can pour it in here. This stuff in there. Now we'll use water to rinse the sandy. And then I'm just going to do another rinse with it. Now, some people may say it is overkill. Some people may say it's not enough. But it doesn't take much to clean it. So, and it, it's just a ball. It's just water. So let's just keep it clean. And at the same time, it's still being hydrated with the spring water, which is what I'm going to use to make it. And so that's the whole purpose of using the spring water. And you'll see once I put it into the glass bowl, the size has already increased. So I'm going to just throw this over here. This is the bowl that I'll be using. And I'll have to cut up my limes. I already took my limes and cleaned them. And what I also use on my limes is all of my fruit. I do a lot of smoothies and with fruit smoothies and vegetables for smoothies. One thing I do is I run hot water over all my fruit. Sometimes there's a film, especially like blueberries, they'll turn out like a haze to it. But once you run that hot water over it, and I have my hot water heater turned up pretty high, and so it does a pretty good job of scalding that fruit, the skin, and the chemicals that may be on it. It pretty much get rid of all of that pesticides and stuff like that. Because a lot of my strawberries, I don't take the leaves off. I just blend it right up into the smoothie. Uh, so you can see how it has already grown. This bowl is almost full sea moss. So I want to flatten it out in here. I want to flatten it just so I can get it all flat, and then I want to cover it up with water. And in the process of doing this here, I just put that all in there. Like I need another one. And again, the goal is to cover all the sea moss that's in the bowl. Next step, I already cleaned my limes, so I'll take. And again, this does take away some of that sea taste. People that try it for the first time, they give you that cringe. Like it was taste like I think it tastes almost shrimpy or any kind of seafood, crabby, anything from the ocean. So basically, what I'm doing, I'm just squeezing these clean limes, squeezing the juices out of it, and then I'll take it. I don't know if you can see. I take it, invert the, try to squeeze all the juices out of the pulp, and then I just throw that right there in there and leave that. And I'm basically doing that with about two. And since this is a lot of sea moss, I'm gonna probably put about 4 in here, 4 whole. And if you got a juicer or something like that that you can get squeeze all the juice out of the pulp, that's fine. But when I flip them in and out, I get a lot of it out this way. And then there will be pulp in here, which is fine because once you blend it, it's gonna bust those pulps up. And this is a lot of sea moss. I don't know if you can see, it's really swelling pretty quickly already. And I'm just hoping I didn't put too much and it swells the lid off the bottom, the bowl, which I haven't done that yet, but by the way, lime is pretty good. It's electric. The whole idea, the body is pretty much just a lot of electricity. I'm not really getting into all that part of it, but these food does produce energy, like the limes and stuff like that. it's what I call, some people call it living foods. So we eat a lot of dead stuff to give us life. But I think we've been tricked. We got to eat a lot of live foods that will give us life. So as you can see, I'm putting a lot of juice in here. And this is real lime juice. And I'm really not sure if this bowl gonna be big enough. But you can see how it already started to expand. In fact, I think I may put it in that bigger bowl. And not what I do is I keep it in here, but I do want to keep it all submerged under the water. And so the limes do good by keeping it down underneath the water. So that it can absorb. And that's it. So I'll take this here. And I'll put the lid on it. As you can see, the water's all the way up to the sea moss. I could use a little more water to make sure it's all covered. And you really can't add too much water because if you add a little water to it and I'm turning these limes inside out so that it can drain. I want a hole in the bottom to get my knife so they don't hold water in it. And so that's what it looked like. And from here, I take the lid. I'll let this sit for 12 to 24 hours, and I'll just keep it over here out the way. And I get all this lime and stuff off my hand, tidy everything up, and then I'll pour all this water out. Got a little sea moss in there, but that's okay. Pour it in this jar. You can see the sand still in there. I'll keep it clean as I go. And that's it. And so if you got any questions, just do YouTube. I'll try to put this one on YouTube, and I'll do a part 2, and then I'll come back and take the once it's swelled, I'll go ahead and do another second part, and then chop it up. And the only thing I'm gonna do is put it in the blender, let it mix for about 3 minutes, and then I'll pour it into. That's when I store it into the jars. You see settlement. Get rid of all of that, and that's a wrap.